So if you're designing a trial, let's say it's 25 to 50 patients with Xenon, that would take you 250 to 500 patients with the more traditional measures. So this is going to help accelerate drug development and save money and time for the pharmaceutical sponsors.
Hello, you're watching Proactive. Joining me is Polarion Imaging Chief Business Officer, Alex Dusek. Alex, very good to speak with you today. Congratulations on that recent news announced last week on the pharma-sponsored trials. Can you add some more color around this agreement and how your partners, Vida, are involved?
Sure. This is a multinational trial from a pharmaceutical sponsor. So this is really expanding upon our business model, where we're adding a new vertical to our business, where we're providing pharmaceutical drug development services in the context of Xenon MRI. So this is a multi-center trial that the sponsor has engaged with us to do. We're doing a Xenon sub-study in a fraction of the sites that they have multinationally. So we're going to be doing it in North America. And we're providing services on imaging biomarkers. So here for Xenon, they want to look at the ventilation of Xenon in the lung, how well Xenon crosses the interstitial membrane, and how well it crosses into the blood. And so the services that we're going to be providing, part of what pharmaceutical sponsors want to do is they want to harmonize imaging. So if they took 10 sites, for instance, and they all did imaging slightly differently, their data set is going to be a little bit heterogeneous. And so what our service is providing is harmonization of both image acquisition and image processing. So we can provide a full analysis data set back to them in a harmonized biomarker output way, which makes it a lot more streamlined for the pharmaceutical sponsors. So we'll be doing site qualification and training, site feasibility assessments, image harmonization, as I mentioned, and we'll be doing the Xenon biomarker analysis.
Alex, can you talk a bit about the benefits of Xenon MRI in advancing drug development in lung disease?
Sure. So in drug development for lung disease, it's probably one of the most expensive therapeutic areas for a drug company. I've spent a lot of time in the pulmonary medicine industry. I worked in small biotech as well as large multinational pharmaceutical companies. And what they want to do is they want to speed drug development. So that'll save time, it'll save money, it'll accelerate their ability to get the drug on the market. It also allows them to rule out drugs. So if they have a couple drug candidates in a certain therapeutic area, this will speed the answer to maybe a drug that's not working. So what we want to do is create this multi-center network of sites that can image Xenon in a consistent way. And the benefit there is, traditionally in lung drug development, spirometry, sort of blowing into the tube, is the tool, the standard of care of lung function. But it's a blunt measure. It's very crude and it has a lot of variability. So Xenon is a more sensitive measure of lung function. And because of that, it reduces the variability of the output of lung function. And if you reduce the variability, you can actually conduct trials with a whole lot less patients. So just as an example, if you were to reduce the variability of, let's say, FEV1, which is a measure of ventilation with spirometry, compared to our Xenon MRI ventilation defect percentage measure, that reduces the variability from about 7% in the repeatability to 1% or 1.5%. And that can result in a tenfold decrease in the number of patients needed to see a treatment effect. So if you're designing a trial, let's say it's 25 to 50 patients with Xenon, that would take you 250 to 500 patients with the more traditional measures. So this is going to help accelerate drug development and save money and time for the pharmaceutical sponsors.
Alex, following this initial agreement, will you be looking to expand your Xenon MRI-enabled trial sites? And if so, how significant is the growth opportunity for Polarion?
Yeah, I think that what we're really doing here is we're adding a new revenue stream, but probably more importantly, for this service model and sort of this site network that we're developing, is it leverages that infrastructure for pharmaceutical trials. So for the ecosystem of the pharmaceutical company, the trial site, and for Polarion, we all are going to participate in the value creation here. And so a site will want to have Xenon MRI to participate in this network that can access pharmaceutical sponsored trials. And so this revenue is actually pretty important, especially now with some of the NIH cuts and other dynamics that are going on in this industry. Having access to pharmaceutical sponsored research is really important for sites. So if they see that by joining this Xenon MRI network of sites that can do this through our partner Vita, I didn't mention that. They've been very helpful here. Vita is well known in the lung drug development industry, and they've been a great partner. So if they can be part of that, then the sites can see the value of bringing a Xenon MRI system into the equation. And so for Polarian, it's both credibility, it's interacting with all the thought leaders in this space, and sort of this flywheel that we see in enhancing the ecosystem across sponsors as well as the investigator sites.
Alex, I hope you'll keep us updated on any additional progress with that. Thank you very much for speaking with us today.
Sure, thank you very much.
That's Polarian Imaging Chief Business Officer Alex Dusek.